Hello, this is Jess. Good to see you. This is chat session number 78, Wednesday, January 16th, 2018. We're going to go right into the tidbits of history. 1950. 11 men steal more than $2 million from the Brinks Armored Car Depot in Boston, Massachusetts. It was the perfect crime, almost, as the culprits weren't caught until January 1956, just days before the statute of limitations for the crime expired. The robbery mastermind was Anthony Fats Pinero, and all was perfect until Joseph Specs O'Keefe was arrested on another burglary charge and ended up turning on the other guys and agreed to testify against the 10 other men. It was they surveyed the Brinks Armored Car Company for I think 18 months, and they managed to go in there during that time and steal a bunch of password codes and different things for the alarms. And then they just walked in, and it was like a half ton of money. And then within 30 minutes, they had $2.7 million, and they drove off. And nobody was hurt during the robbery. And they all agreed to hide the money and not get it for 6 years until the statute of limitations expired. And then, of course, this guy got thrown in jail, one of the 10 guys, and turned with the FBI. And they caught all of them, put them in prison. Some of them died before they got sentenced. It was a big mess. They actually made a movie about it. It's called The Brinks Job, and it was the largest dollar robbery in U.S. history at that time. It was $2.7 million. All right. And then we're going to go right to 1966. On this day, the inspiration came from the Beatles. Financing came from Screen Gems. The music came from Don Kirshner. And the stars came from an extensive audition process that began with this ad in the Daily Variety in 1965. The ad reads as follows: Madness auditions folk and rock music singers for active roles in new TV series, running parts for 4 insane boys aged 17 to 24. Bob Rafelson and Bert Schneider spent 4 months and finally came up with the Monkees series. And on this day, the National Broadcasting Corp ordered 32 episodes for their fall schedule. The 4 boys were Mickey, Peter, Mike, and Davy. And they formed the band The Monkees, and through this year series, they actually got songs going. And they said at one point they were selling as many albums as the Beatles. And they just have lived on. The Monkees lived on. Alright, that's the history. 1966 and 1950. In the last chat session, I failed to add my sentences for my book. And so I'm going to read what should have been on 77. I'm going to read it now. In other words, we're skipping 77. We started on 74, and we did 75, 76. We skipped 77. Now I'm going to read what should have been on 77 today. The sound of a thud reminded Raldo that there is still an enemy on the attack. The thud is met by another thud as the orc on top of Raldo ceases to move at all. The weight is fully pressing on Raldo, and the pain in his left leg seems to increase. The orc is too big for Raldo to just push him off, so he just lays quiet, almost as if faking his own death. And that's the book's adding for today. So we have started off on chat session number 74, 75, 76, and I just somehow skipped 77, so now we're on 78. So if you're following that, you just jump to 78 to get the continuation. And I love coffee. It's about 6 a.m. in the morning. I worked last night. It's about 12 degrees outside, and it's going to be another cold day and cold night here, and then we should start seeing a little bit of a weather increase. I mean, the temperature should rise is what I meant to say. I seem to be fumbling at my mouth trying to talk today, so I'll just take it easy on that. I'd like to say hello to Jess Rankin, and hey Ricky Bobby, and hey Joel, what's happening? Anna Vina, Charlie and Linda, and Alex, Israel, Scott, Erica, Anita, hey, how you doing? And we're going to go from there. And also Aiden and Roxy too. And Daniel. Alright, got everybody. It's the best I can do. Anyway, a lot going on. Not going to spend a lot of time on it. Politics, I'm trying to stay away from it while I'm talking. It's just too much negative stuff. I want to start focusing on some positive things. And on that note, you can go to my YouTube channel. Just punch in my name, Jess Malone, and look for my picture. Here I am. And there's a subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. It helps me see what's happening with people that might be watching, and it gives me an opportunity to spread these chat sessions to more people. So if you feel like you're watching it, you see something you might like, you can subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. All right. In the scheme of stuff, we need to address local level politics and how it affects the state level and also the federal level. I'd just like to say that I'm not sure where the concept became okay, but I still don't understand how they call it gerrymandering, and they could take certain sections of an area and separate it to the voting goes to this area or it goes to that area, so that's like the Republicans can win or the Democrats can win. All the parties do this, and I think it's crazy. Why don't we just have a vote, and whoever gets the most votes should win? There shouldn't be all this setting up stuff to get votes to go a certain direction so that the Republican Party can win or the Democratic Party can win. I think that the same thing with the Electoral College. I know it's sort of why it's there. It's for population, the people in the less populated states getting a fair shake in our government when it comes to elected officials. But I think that we should just have a straight vote. I think that on voting day it should be declared a national holiday, and I think that everyone should be able to go to the polls, and they should be open for a 24-hour period. And all you have to have is an ID of that state with your address. And all this other stuff and all these rules and restrictions and do's and don'ts, I think that's all just a bunch of crap to keep people from being able to participate in our democracy. I think that on the local level, all the way up to the federal level, it's very important that our vote counts, or at least we think that it counts. And with all this rigging and saying you can't vote, you got to go to this place, you got to go to that place, I think it's all a scam to make sure that by not allowing people to vote, certain parties can win in their areas. and I just think it's not a democracy. It's more of a rigged situation that we should do away with. These are just some opinions, but I think that voting should be a right that should be exercised, and if you work a job during the day, the polls shouldn't close, when you get off. I think that if we should make it, like I said, a national holiday where everybody is allowed to go and participate. That way we can get a truer sense of the people that are being put into office, because the votes will be counted that way, instead of saying, oh, he won this state, the majority, so he gets this many electoral college, and that's how they elect the president and all this stuff. It's ridiculous. It should be, if there's 20 million votes and he got 17 and she got 3, then 17 million should win. It's simple, but they make everything so complicated. Just my opinion. All right, well, be truthful, be happy, and let's look out for each other, okay? There's my ending. I do go to the doctor today at 9 o'clock. I got to be in Waco at 9. So that's about it. Have a great Wednesday morning. Bye.